Welcome to GoPro Kitchen. My name is Michel and today I will be cooking no lo mein. Why am I calling this dish no lo mein? Well, I was in the Chinese store one time and I bought some of this roast red pork, and they only sold it in a bigger quantity, and I said to the lady, I only need half of what you're selling me. She says, oh, you can do the other half and you just, cut up some vegetables, stir fry them, and then throw spaghetti in. And this is a Chinese lady telling me to use spaghetti instead of lo mein. So, okay, I'll try it and, see how it works out. So I got some leftover bean sprouts. I got leftover snow peas. I got some scallions, a red paprika or bell pepper, a carrot, and the leftover roast red pork, 8 ounces of thin spaghetti, salt, arrowroot, dark soy sauce, light soy sauce, and black pepper. We're gonna start with the pork and cut it up. So I'm gonna cut it in flat pieces, and then those flat pieces. So this is about 8 ounces of roast red pork. I'm gonna turn up the heat on the water and get it to a boil so I can start on the spaghetti, because that's probably gonna take the most time. Okay, next is cleaning the snow peas, and you've seen me do this earlier in another video, and it's the same thing. Okay, I removed the tough strings, so now we're going to cut it up. We're not going to cut this too fine. We're going to just cut it halfway through. Keep it pretty large. That's that. Next is the scallions. Again, we're not gonna cut that really fine. We're gonna cut that kind of coarse. So that's about an inch. You see that the thumb width? My thumb is about an inch. Next is the carrot. Okay. I'm gonna cut that halfway, not all the way. Keep it connected at the end. That way I can just cut it like this. About a 1/4 inch thick. And that's it. Okay, the water is boiling, so I'm gonna add some salt. This is about the pan with the water. I'm gonna put a liberal amount of salt in it. It's just like with cooking pasta. You want that water to be tasting like the ocean. Yeah, it's pretty much like the ocean to me. Then on the package here it says to boil the pasta for 8 to 9 minutes. I want to keep this al dente, so I'm going to stick with 8. Kind of roll it in between your fingers so you get water in between. Otherwise it's going to stick to each other. Another trick is to put a little bit of oil in the water, but it's really not necessary. Hey Google, set an 8-minute timer.
8 minutes, starting now.
Next up is the bell pepper. It's easier. There we go. Okay, the noodles are done, so we're gonna drain those in a colander. And immediately rinse them off with cold water. Make sure you get to the center of it so it doesn't continue cooking. And we're just gonna let that sit dry. Okay, so I have two different kinds of soy sauce. They're both Chinese. One is light, the other one is dark. I actually prefer the Pearl River Bridge brand, but our store discontinued that brand. I don't know why, but so I had to figure out something else. But this is, you know, really equal to it. So the light I use to get the taste. The dark I use to get the color. So I typically use more of the light than of the dark. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mix the light soy sauce with our arrowroot powder. And what arrowroot powder does, it kind of functions as a binder. And I think this is probably about 2 tablespoons. It functions as a binder. And so the liquid that you have in your noodles is gonna cling to the noodles itself. And that's very often when you go to the Chinese, you see that, you know, where it's really nicely coated. That's how they accomplish that. Okay, I'm about ready to cook. I've lined up the ingredients in order of appearance. Roast red pork is going first, then the onions. These two go together, and I do these a little earlier in the process because they're a little harder and I want them to soften up a little bit. Then the bell pepper, then the scallions, and I separated the hard part from the soft part because I'm going to throw that in a little bit earlier, maybe together with the bell pepper, so that it can soften up a little bit. And as last, these two, the bean sprouts and the soft parts of the scallions. Then I'm gonna finish it off with this sauce here after I put the noodles in, of course. And then if the color isn't right, I'll add some of that dark soy sauce to get the color right. Okay, the wok is at temperature at about 490 degrees. Now that's pretty hot, but it'll work. A little bit of oil in. I already pre-seasoned this pan, so it should be non-stick. Do this pretty quickly. Heat this up. About 30 seconds. Onions go in. Gas is at high heat. You don't really want to overcook anything on this. It's all just a matter of heating it up and keeping it still crunchy. Then the carrots and the snow peas. Look at that nice pellet. The bell pepper and the hard pieces of the scallions. I'm gonna add a couple of splashes of fish sauce. Probably a couple of teaspoons. Smell the aroma. And this, bean sprouts, and noodles. Now if you can't eat any pork, you can also do this with chicken. I'm pretty sure that you can use that roast red pork seasoning also on chicken. And if you want to use chicken, I would use the chicken thighs because they're a little bit more fatty. Okay, I'm ready to add the light soy sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I think that the color is maybe a little bit light. So I'm going to add some of that dark soy sauce, and it's just a little bit, it's not a whole lot. Just, well, that's going to give you that rich color. Look at that. Okay, a little bit of pepper. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about a quarter teaspoon. Let's give it a taste. That's not going to work with me. Delicious. Look at these colors. healthy vegetables in it. What else do you want? Now if you're following a paleo diet, you can replace the spaghetti for sweet potato pasta or noodles. And the arrowroot is actually a good binder for people on a paleo diet because it's not a starch. It's not like cornstarch or flour, and so it fits in the paleo diet. Everything else fits in it, maybe not the peas. Then you leave the peas out and replace it for something else. Alright, enjoy your dinner and give me a big thumbs up if you liked it. And subscribe to see my next creations.